Darwin's complete story. Darwin was never originally meant to be a part of the Watt family. His legs only grew because of the powerful emotional bond he formed with Gumball. Interestingly, the original scrapped design for his character actually appears in the void. In this video, we're diving deep into Darwin's entire backstory. I've spent countless hours watching the amazing world of Gumball to uncover every hidden detail and lore connected to him. So hopefully, you'll discover something new about our favorite goldfish. Darwin's early life. While most people think his full name is simply Darwin Watt, the episode The Party reveals something much longer. Darwin Raglan Caspian Ahab Poseidon Nicodemus Watt III. It may sound like a strange mix of fancy names, but it might have more meaning than you think. Darwin is likely a nod to Charles Darwin, known for his theory of evolution. Raglan might reference either a World War I naval ship or Raglan, a surf town in New Zealand known for its dolphins. Caspian refers to the Caspian Sea, the world's largest enclosed body of water. Ahab is likely drawn from Captain Ahab in Moby Dick, who's obsessed with hunting the white whale. Poseidon obviously links to the Greek god of the sea, and Nicodemus could reference Nicodemus the Hagiorite, an 18th century saint renowned for his spiritual writings and his deep compassion. So while the name may sound random at first, it's possible that each part was chosen deliberately to reflect themes of history, mythology, and literature. It might seem odd for a 10-year-old to have such elaborate names, but don't worry, we'll explore a theory about that later on. For now, let's rewind to the beginning. Well, as much of a beginning as we can find, since we never get to learn about Darwin's real parents. However, we do get a glimpse of his early days in the episode The Origins. The episode kicks off with Nicole frantically searching the house for Gumball, who's up to his usual antics. She finds Richard in the bathtub drinking grape soda, classic Richard behavior. When Nicole finally spots Gumball, she can't bring herself to be angry because he's just too cute. But Gumball proves to be a real handful. So Nicole and Richard decide to buy him a pet goldfish to keep him busy. Gumball names this fish Darwin, but this isn't our Darwin. Gumball actually goes through multiple goldfish, all dying in absurd ways. Each time, Richard flushes them and buys another. At one point, when he returns to the store, the clerk tells him the last two fish jumped out of the tank, perhaps sensing their doom. It's oddly tragic. Distraught, Richard returns to his car and notices a strange van parked nearby. For some reason, he decides to go inside. There he finds a shop full of odd and mysterious items. Among them is a peculiar goldfish that isn't for sale, but Richard persuades the vendor to let him buy it for $100. As he leaves, the vendor warns him, this isn't just any fish, it's something special. The next day, Gumball plays with the new fish and is shocked to find that it understands him and mimics everything he does. When they reach out and touch hands, an intense emotional connection forms between them, as if they can feel each other's hearts. This moment stuns Gumball, and when Darwin speaks for the first time, Gumball is thrilled and rushes to tell his parents. But first, he wants to play a prank, so he asks Darwin to act like a regular dumb fish. When Richard sees him lying still, he assumes the fish is dead and prepares to flush him. Just in time, Gumball stops him and formally welcomes Darwin into the Watt family. However, when they try to take a family photo, Darwin accidentally spooks Nicole and Richard, who launch him straight into the toilet and flush him by mistake. The story picks up in The Origins Part 2, where Darwin is now adrift at sea, determined to return to Gumball and his family. He leaps from the water and tries to reach land, but struggles being just a fish. Yet his emotional bond with Gumball is so powerful that it literally gives him lungs and legs, allowing him to keep going. Darwin faces several obstacles, but he eventually makes it to the mall where he sees that the Watts are about to replace him. Heartbroken, he turns away. But Gumball senses Darwin nearby, rushes after him, and the two finally reunite outside. The Watts then officially welcome Darwin as one of their own, and the rest is history. Darwin's relationships. From that moment forward, Darwin and Gumball share one of the most iconic friendships in the series. Though they argue like any pair of siblings, their bond is deep and lasting. Darwin is also close with Annis, even though their bond isn't quite as tight. He often takes on the role of the responsible older brother. A perfect example is in the episode The Responsible, where Gumball and Darwin babysit Annis and do their best to protect her, though they fail miserably. In the end, they work together to escape a flooded house. Darwin's relationship with Nicole and Richard is heartwarming. They love and treat him like a real son, despite the fact that he's not biologically theirs. However, things take a turn in the Roots when they mistakenly believe Darwin misses his old life as a fish. Trying to do the right thing, they release him back into the wild. But it turns out Darwin was only pretending to feel out of place, so they'd buy him a bigger fish tank, something he desperately needs. He barely fits in his current one. In terms of love interests, Darwin is surprisingly popular. He's shown interest in girls like Sarah and Masami, but ultimately ends up with Carrie. Their relationship builds over episodes like Halloween, and they finally become a couple after The Matchmaker. Darwin also has a talent for making friends. He's well liked by most students at Elmore Junior High, including Penny, Banana Joe, and even older characters like Rocky. While he's had rivalries with some of them, Darwin's warm and gentle personality always wins out. For instance, he was once jealous of Penny, thinking she was taking Gumball away from him. But in later episodes like The Romantic, he overcomes those feelings and even helps Gumball plan something sweet for her. Despite his kind nature, Darwin isn't without enemies. Rob, the main antagonist, originally a background character, was tossed into the void once deemed useless. After escaping, he becomes Gumball's nemesis. In The Disaster, Rob goes after everyone Gumball cares about, including Darwin. The creation of Darwin. The Watt family is inspired by show creator Ben Bachelet's real-life upbringing. Darwin, in particular, was modeled after Bachelet's childhood friend, Paul, who was treated like a son by Bachelet's family, mirroring how Darwin was adopted by the Watts. Originally, Darwin was created for a different show concept, one involving mythical creatures hiding in a child's backyard. That idea may have influenced Darwin's fish-human hybrid nature, possibly inspired by mermaids or something even more mysterious. Earlier, we mentioned his full name includes Poseidon, which might tie directly into that mythical origin. If the original show Darwin was intended for involved Greek mythology, then it would make sense that his name includes the god of the sea. This raises the possibility that every part of Darwin's long name might have been chosen with purpose. When that earlier show was canceled, Darwin's career design was recycled and added to the amazing world of Gumball. The creators loved his look, and it fit perfectly with the show's eccentric style. Initially, Darwin was meant to be the class pet, who would eventually grow legs and become Gumball's best friend, still joining him on his chaotic adventures. In the pilot episode, Darwin appears in 3D with some notable differences: no eyelashes, larger eyes, and different shoes. That original 3D Darwin reappears in the void, suggesting that his design was either a forgotten error or something intentionally abandoned. The void, within Gumball's universe, is where everything irrelevant or mistaken is sent, along with all memory of its existence, unless you wear a tinfoil hat, of course. For example, Molly was erased for being boring. Only viewers, and maybe Mr. Small, remember that early Darwin. Later, his animation style switched from 3D to 2D due to production challenges. In Season 1, the shadows on his legs made it seem like he was wearing black pants. In Season 2, his design evolved: rounder eyes, softer shadows, one eyelash removed, longer legs, and bigger shoes. From Season 3 onward, his appearance stabilized. Interestingly, Darwin's design was repurposed again for a new character named Ribbit in the copycat show Miracle Star. Ribbit is an aqua-colored frog who wears purple pants and no shoes, the opposite of Darwin. And finally, though Darwin is a goldfish, he is canonically black. What began as fan speculation was confirmed by creator Ben Bocalet on X, formerly Twitter, when a fan asked, "Is Darwin black?" and he simply replied,